The unexpected strategy decision from McLaren has sent shockwaves through the paddock just as Formula One heads into the most demanding weekend of the year in Singapore. Andrea Stella has confirmed that Piastri and Norris will be free to pursue their own strategies, a move that has left fans, pundits, and even rival teams stunned. At a time when the championship fight is delicately balanced and Verstappen is beginning to circle once again, McLaren's refusal to enforce unified tactics feels like an enormous gamble. It may look like a commitment to sporting purity, but many see it as a risk that could tear the team apart at the very moment when unity is essential. The backdrop makes it even more dramatic. Piastri may lead the standings, but Budapest showed how a single strategic call can flip the outcome of an entire race. He was on course for victory until Norris's one-stop gamble changed the narrative completely, handing the Brit the win. Then came Monza, where team orders returned in controversial fashion, fueling suspicions that McLaren's hierarchy were quietly leaning towards Norris despite Piastri's consistency. Stella has pushed back on that narrative, insisting both drivers are being treated equally. Yet, this new decision means the garages are effectively competing against one another, separate strategies, and no common approach to secure maximum points. The stakes could not be higher. McLaren are just a handful of points away from clinching the constructors' crown, but the driver's title is still wide open. Piastri, Norris, and Verstappen are separated by margins small enough that one weekend in Singapore could flip the order completely. Allowing both sides of the garage to go their own way opens the door to bold gambles, but also to disaster. A mistimed pit stop, a safety car that benefits one side and punishes the other, or even a tyre choice gone wrong could hand Verstappen exactly the opportunity he has been waiting for. History shows that teams who refuse to manage internal rivalries often pay the price. McLaren in 2007, Ferrari in 2010, Mercedes in their Rosberg-Hamilton battles. Many are asking whether Stella has just pushed his team towards the same dangerous path. What makes this twist so captivating is the tension it creates between fairness and pragmatism. On the one hand, McLaren are giving their drivers the freedom to fight on equal terms, something fans crave after years of political interference in Formula One. On the other, they are gambling a long-awaited driver's title on the belief that equal treatment will somehow deliver the best outcome. The Marina Bay circuit promises chaos through strategy, safety cars, and brutal conditions. This unexpected decision could either be the masterstroke that cements McLaren's return to the top, or the mistake that allows Verstappen to snatch glory once again. Enjoying this breakdown? Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned until the end, because we'll be uncovering every detail of Stella's gamble and what it could mean for Piastri, Norris, and the fate of this championship. McLaren's unexpected decision to allow Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris to pursue separate strategies in Singapore has created one of the most explosive storylines of the season, and the first signs from free practice one have already shown how delicate this gamble could become. Marina Bay has always been a brutal test of drivers and machinery, but with Fernando Alonso unexpectedly topping the timesheets, Charles Leclerc just behind him, and Max Verstappen already within 3/10 on Red Bull's new front wing, the battle looks more treacherous than ever. McLaren was solid, with Piastri finishing inside the top 5 and Norris close behind in 6th. But the gaps were so narrow that every strategic call could decide the entire weekend. In such a context, Andrea Stella's refusal to impose a unified approach is nothing short of extraordinary, leaving both drivers to chase victory in their own way while Verstappen sharpens his claws in the background. What makes the decision so controversial is the razor-thin margin between brilliance and disaster at Marina Bay. Free practice sessions also highlighted how volatile this weekend will be. The FIA's experiment with faster pit lane speeds could shave as much as 6 seconds off pit stops, opening the door to aggressive two-stop strategies that were rarely viable before. At the same time, the FIA's heat hazard declaration is forcing teams to choose between cooling vests or ballast penalties, multiplying the unpredictability. Every strategic call carries double weight, and McLaren's decision to let both drivers chart their own path adds yet another layer of complexity. It looks like freedom could quickly become fragmentation, especially if Verstappen capitalizes on the chaos. The Verstappen factor looms over everything. Just weeks ago, the Dutchman looked too far behind to matter, but consecutive wins in Italy and Azerbaijan have reignited his campaign. Red Bull's upgrades are finally working, And Verstappen has built his career on thriving in exactly these conditions: high pressure, high stakes, and rivals distracted by internal conflict. Helmut Marko has already suggested that McLaren are nervous, and Verstappen knows that if he keeps winning, Piastri and Norris may hand him the title through their rivalry alone. History shows he does not need the fastest car to win a championship. He only needs his opponents to falter. Fans are split, and that makes this story even more compelling. Some applaud McLaren for letting their drivers race freely, praising Stella for refusing to manipulate results. Others see recklessness a refusal to learn from history, and a decision that could undo everything the team has worked so hard to achieve. The Constructors' title may be just 13 points away, but the driver's crown is what defines legacies, and McLaren's gamble has left both drivers speechless. Singapore, under the lights, in suffocating heat, will force them to fight not only Verstappen, but also the consequences of their own team's choices. The intrigue lies in the smallest details: a pit stop mistimed by seconds, a half kilo of ballast, a tyre strategy that swings with a late safety car. Any of these could decide the outcome, not just of the race, but of the championship itself. Stella's decision has magnified every margin, and in a season already filled with drama, it has ensured that Singapore will be one of the most pivotal races in years. The fans know it, the paddock knows it, and Piastri and Norris feel it more than anyone. By the time the checkered flag falls in Marina Bay, we'll know whether Andrea Stella's unexpected team strategy decision was genius or folly. If Piastri and Norris emerge united and victorious, McLaren will be hailed for their bravery. But if Verstappen closes the gap and divisions begin to show, the criticism will be merciless. Either way, this decision ensures that the Singapore Grand Prix will be remembered not just for what happens on track, but for how McLaren chose to fight their battles off it. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your predictions for Singapore in the comments below, because this championship is far from settled and the twists are only just beginning.